Well, I remember Cash Jordan did the entire thing about. He did an entire video explaining that McDonald's was like setting an age restriction for teenagers because teenagers in New York were like freaking losing their minds, starting gangs and stuff, and going to like wreak havoc inside of McDonald's. So they set like an age limit. But now apparently McDonald's, I'm gonna be real with you, kind of based, right? Like if the city's not gonna freaking control their crime rate, why the hell would you set your business there? McDonald's is apparently leaving Chicago now. No freaking way. Nah, son. I'm gonna tell you right now. If my city doesn't have McDonald's, it instantly devalues in my case. I love me some McDonald's. I love me some Burger King. I like me some Chick-fil-A. I don't hate no freaking fast foods. Y'all need to.
Here at CBS.
Some of our colleagues noticed there used to be lots of McDonald's locations nearby. Check out all those golden.
Don't get me wrong. I know it's garbage food. I know it's like low-tier food, and that's the point. I'm not here to freaking get a high-quality steak, okay? I'm here to give you a little bit of money, which McDonald's is not a little bit of money anymore. But hopefully with this situation, they'll reduce their prices a little bit, you know? Like, what's up, McDonald's? Hurry up and get the AI robots to make me my food so I can pay only $1. Anyway, you know, it's not the dollar menu anymore. It's the $5 menu now. But still,
but one by one, you can see most.
I need that dopamine rush from the chicken nuggets, the French fries, and the Big Mac.
Have disappeared.
Whoa. The golden arches on Clark, not there.
Wow.
No more Big Macs at this loop location either.
Oh, that's a cool one though.
McDonald's gone within a 10-minute walk of each other.
What
is going on?
I think that would be a question for McDonald's.
Oh, we asked.
You know what McDonald's should honestly do? They should do it like the way that they did it. They did it in the original one, like in the movie, in The Founder, where it's just a window. And you just go and you order the food and they give it to you when you get out. You go away. There's no, like, you don't eat here. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's just a drive-thru. Or like, kind of like rallies. It's just a drive-thru or like a walk-up window where you order the food and you take the food, you go home. You don't freaking stay here. Or you can eat it at the bench if you want, but you don't freaking, like, there's no restaurant. This ain't no,
got an appreciate reaching out reply.
Seems like a lot of people.
I'll be real with you. I would not mind if society started going, because obviously we can't handle it here in the United States. We cannot handle the idea of restaurants. And especially with fast food. Fast food needs to stop trying to be restaurants. Okay, just give us a window where we can just order our junk food, and we can go home, or we can go with like a freaking, like at a park bench, or a bench, or like maybe next to the vending machines like Japan does, and just eat, and then go free, and then be about your business.
Talk about what's really going on here, but before we get to the real truth of why these places might be shutting down.
Ooh, Café Bustelo though. Okay.
Have you ever been to an inner city McDonald's that made you feel safe and secure?
I heard a lot of good things about that one.
Interestingly, McDonald's global headquarters is only about a mile from the loop.
I got a bag of yerba mata. I'm about to try that.
Why are they
But the gourd that I bought on Amazon freaking had a hole in it, so it freaking started dripping. I was like, oh, this sucks.
Tailing it from their hometown. Again, no explanation from corporate.
Yeah, they don't want to say.
Source told us crime and tensions.
But I kept the spoon, right? So I'm gonna try it with one of those little jarritos.
The unhoused were a factor for at least one of the closures.
I'm hungry.
Crime! That's exactly what's taking place at McDonald's in many parts of the country, but interestingly, even in New York, where you see some of this at its most intense, these stores have found a way to stay open because they're near America's busiest train station and they're by Times Square, where people can place mobile orders and then flee the store as soon as they get their food.
Illinois Restaurant Association had another theory.
Okay, but you see what I'm saying? Just close the freaking restaurant down already. You don't freaking need it. Nobody wants to hang out. Like the age of like play places at McDonald's is over. Nobody can be trusted for nothing with nobody. Like no, we don't. We're freaking vicious animals. We don't freaking deserve it. We can't have nice things. Just go back to the rally style where you just at the window, give me my food, get out.
Know that since 2020, restaurants have seen an increase of 35% labor costs, 35% purchasing costs, and almost 20% in fixed costs.
That'll do it.
Now add to the recipe consumers cutting back on fast food.
You've noticed the vacancy signs around, but they don't scare you.
Sometimes, for sure, you see, you come this way and you're like...
Okay, so this guy here he's in a super high-end looking restaurant here. He's not serving fast food. Yes, people are cutting back on fast food because it's no...
Yeah, he's not freaking concerned about McDonald's going down. At all. You know why? Because there's a freaking bouncer at his restaurant. There's a freaking guy at the front that looks at you and says, oh, hell no, you're not getting in here. That's why.
Longer fast, it might not actually be food, and the price is way up. But there's another...
Give me some hash browns right now. Oh my goodness, dude. I'm about to get me that Egg McMuffin, a hash brown. I'm gonna stick that hash brown right in the middle of that Egg McMuffin. Oh, good lord.
Another reason why stores are closing, and it's because they're attracting the wrong...
And if you got a sweet tooth, you order the freaking waffle, the pancake sandwich.
type
Oh!
of
Dude, the amount of... Oh, that's like... You can't... You eat that, and you're not allowed to eat anything else until tomorrow. The amount of calories that freaking waffle pancake sandwich, whatever the hell that thing is, oh my goodness.
Tanks these places.
Oh
they
my
have
God.
to shut down.
Most retailers look for ways to increase
I'm sorry, I'm
foot
hungry.
traffic. But the McDonald's at 2154 Nostrand Avenue in Brooklyn is doing the opposite. As the sign on the door shows, anyone under 20 needs an ID or a parent, while some dislike the new door policy being enforced by a trio of security guards and backed up by NYPD officers outside.
The police.
The reasoning is plain. McDonald's locations are all too often the scene of violent crimes, and both the victims and perpetrators can often be...
They really had to find the one McDonald's with the D missing, didn't they?
young.
So, lawlessness is taking over these stores. And the problems you have in Chicago, a high-tax, progressive city that doesn't back up its police, are the same problems you've got in places like New York, where we don't...
Oh, the breakfast deluxe though, with the bacon on it, and you can ask for extra bacon on it, because they give you the thin strip, so you gotta ask for the double bacon on it.
Don't have a legal system that holds people accountable for destroying restaurants. So what happens if they're not in the busiest parts of town? They've gotta close. Look at these places in Chicago. These were flagship locations, and now they're gone. And it's not just New York and Chicago that have an age policy at some of their stores.
If you're over...
I order the breakfast deluxe, and then I put some of the boysenberry jam I got from the Knott's, from Knott's Berry Farm. I got boysenberry jam.
21, you must ring a doorbell to be let in.
Wow.
And it only happens with the kids. The normal community comes here, everybody interacts, they're great.
It only happens with the kids. When the normal community comes in. What do you mean the normal community? Freaking ain't.
The McDonald's on Franconia Road in Fairfax County kicked off new safety measures, angering teenagers and thrilling adults.
I think it's a great thing. This is the first time in probably 5 years I sat down for 15 minutes in this McDonald's and enjoyed a hamburger.
To get in,
I'm not saying we should do this, but I bet you $20. If we made a law that if your teenager like goes and commits a crime somewhere, we charge the adult too. I bet a lot of these kids will be at home instead of at McDonald's causing a ruckus. You know what I'm saying?
McDonald's.
Okay, I didn't know you could sit down at a McDonald's anywhere and enjoy a hamburger. Where I'm from, I don't know if that's possible anymore. Shout out to Fairfax County, Virginia.
Are greedy.
No, he's right. What I do is I go to the drive-thru, I grab my burger, and then I just shove it down my throat by force. Like, I try to force it down in one bite. I don't really enjoy it. It's more like I just sort of have to get it into my system as quickly as possible.
That all entrances, which are locked, with a sign saying they have to be over 21 to dine inside. A door...
Tasting each individual thing is sort of optional, you know? I just sort of freaking shove it down my throat.
Doorbell
alerts a staff member who lets you in. As you can see, they're happy to greet some customers, while others get denied. According to a spokesperson for this franchise, student violence and disrespectful behavior
Bro, imagine having to get a fake ID to get into McDonald's, though.
erupts here at least once a week, and staff and customers are sick of it. Thomas Edison High School is just across the street.
So, the McDonald's in...
You know damn well that McDonald's set up right there because of the school, too. They were hoping to get all those kid customers.
Brooklyn,
all those teenage
that
customers.
also has this policy. They're also by a whole bunch of schools. So youth violence might be an out-of-control problem.
Yeah, they're all by a school. Why do you think that is? Is because McDonald's thought, oh, we got all the kids with all their lunch money and all their freaking allowances. They're gonna want to come shove their faces full of freaking, like, food.
At places like a McDonald's that cater to folks who eat a lot of fast food. And of course, that doesn't excuse the violence going on in some of these places, but it does explain why McDonald's in certain parts of Chicago might have to close down, even if people say these are busy areas of town that don't have a foot traffic problem.
A welcome greeting of graffiti.
Are you getting tired of answering the question, how is the loop doing?
No, not really, because every day there's something new and improved.
Like the restaurant.
Sure.
Where the Chicago Loop Alliance is.
Yo, these like bars scenario. See, bro, I want to live I want to be. That's the kind of rich I want to be, where I can go to places like this and be like, oh yeah, let me see your menu, and it's like I don't even look at the price. Yeah.
Michael Edwards met us. More on Memento in a moment. First, an assessment of the Loop's health.
First quarter of this year, 1 million.
You ever done that? You ever gone to a restaurant and just not look at the price of like what you about to order? Like, damn, like that's risky, bro. Like now you play dangerous. That's scary.
Down $280 million in economic impact.
Downtown foot traffic. On
you know what I mean? Like you just order the thing because it sounds like it tastes good.
Consumers are coming.
Like what the hell?
Tenants not as much.
So the problem isn't a foot traffic.
No, my classic move is to just look, like go down the menu and look at like the lowest priced one, and then just like go from there.
The problem is a law and order problem. And if you live in a place like Chicago where this is taking place, or in New York, and nobody goes to jail for stuff like assault or petty crime, or you've got super lax bail laws that release repeat.
Oh, those are some sick Doc Martens though. Those are sick. I want some.
Offenders on their millionth time getting busted, you're gonna have a lot of this going on. And businesses will just decide, you know what, it's not worth it for us, even with all the foot traffic.
The vacancy signs around, but they don't scare you.
Sometimes, for sure, you see, you come this way and you're like, I mean, maybe I'm the craziest.
And yet, Christopher Roldan is betting big on the Loop.
Yeah, of course he is. He has less It's not like there's not customers there. There's plenty of customers. It's just that the teenage gangs that nobody's doing that nobody's doing nothing about are hanging out at the McDonald's. They're not going to this restaurant because they have a bouncer that keeps them the freak out.
Right next to the train, he just opened Memento. It's a fast casual taqueria on one side, sit-down restaurant on the other, with handmade decor, self-serve liquor, and mouth-watering Mexican food.
There's this unique thing about the area that you have tourists and locals.
A combo that's done well for the highly Instagrammable Amarino, a gelato franchise.
Okay, just because McDonald's is shutting down doesn't mean other businesses that have a totally different pay structure and a totally different clientele that they cater to have not found ways to stay open. I absolutely believe that
they're not being
overpriced
affected.
Gelato and macaroons are doing well in Chicago.
Yeah, they're not struggling. They're not concerned. That's not even a problem.
Also owns around the corner.
Because there's not a bunch of teenage gangs in their freaking restaurants. They do it at McDonald's. Oh, damn, look at that. Look good.
From
what the hell?
All of the 300 locations, 19 countries.
Bro, I see one that was like green and pink in the middle, and they said that it was like a strawberry ice cream, but with like green tea flavored cookie. Oh, good lord.
This one in Chicago is the #1 in sales. You have
I'm hungry.
That this area works.
I'm hungry.
All the ingredients.
I haven't eaten nothing but 6 freaking baby cucumbers today.
About these sad signs.
Okay, let's back up for a second here.
Oh, no, I ate a corn dog. No, never mind. I ate a corn dog too.
There are not tables. You're not supposed to grab a big tray with food for several people and bring it to a table and sit there and spend half an hour to 40 minutes in the store. This is a get it and leave type of place.
Yeah,
and
you move on
unfortunately,
with your day.
that might have to be what happens to McDonald's. The McDonald's in New York,
No, it
these
should.
places are slammed if they're in a busy area. And you see lots of people coming in, getting their breakfast.
No, I'm telling you, it's gonna be like here in California. We have these, they're called rallies. This is the typical layout. There are benches, right? But honestly, the fact that there's like 3 benches here, it's already a lot for the ones I typically see. There's normally either nothing or like two of those like not even these with the umbrella, just like 2 straight benches, like. Checkers, rally, same thing. And it's just like you either drive through or you're freaking ordering at the window, grabbing your food and getting out. There's no hanging out, there's no freaking like place to sit. Go away. And honestly, at this point, you might as well.
but they do not stick around. They leave. And maybe that's why some of these McDonald's in Chicago are vanishing. If these stores were making money and they didn't have a crime problem, they would stay open. Heck, they'd stay open even if they had a crime problem because the money and the mobile orders were good enough to keep them there. But thankfully, Chicago's mayor is up for re-election, and that city has a chance to change things. Let's see how that's going.
And the fact of the matter is, Mayor Johnson has 99 problems, and President Trump is not one of them. There's the $988 million budget deficit that the city is going to be facing. RTA has a $770 million budget deficit. Chicago Public Schools, $550 deficit. Chicago Transit Authority, over 500.
This lady just destroying him. Like, listen, you can worry about the big scary orange man later. Fix the freaking city.
$1 million deficit.
Place is falling apart.
The mayor of Chicago does not have time to be worried about what is happening with President Trump. He has his own issues. And I think that we need to remind him that we have been unhappy with him. You know, we're talking about a man with the single digit.
Okay, I'm sure that he has relatively low approval. But just like New York, where I'm at, Chicago, they've got this problem where the person that they elect is part of the problem, and then they get upset with that person, then it's time for another election, and then what do? They bring in somebody who just continues the status quo. So he very well may win, despite what you're hearing here, which could mean even more McDonald's.
I can relate, realistically, because I'm gonna be honest with you, the Gavin Newsom, like, party here in California, California, just keeps getting replaced with another Gavin Newsom, basically, like, over and over and over again, and it's like, not, like, I keep hearing all the same complaints about the potholes in the streets, and the frickin', like, and it's so, and it's like, well, we keep electing the same frickin' idiots that do the same frickin' thing!
Leave the city.
Over Memorial Day weekend, according to police. Yet Mayor Johnson continues to claim that he's making the city better and he's working to make it safer and that violence is actually going down. Listen.
The key investments that we are making continue to push forth our effort to build the safest, most affordable big city in America. Our investments are clearly having some strong returns as violence continues to go down in the city of Chicago.
It's tough to find.
Okay, we got to talk about that because in New York they tell us the same thing. They tell us that violence is down, it's the safest big city everywhere, and you're safer here than you are in a place where criminals actually go to jail when they do something wrong. These numbers that we're getting out of these progressive cities, they are totally bogus. Look at this. In New York, just a month and a half ago, transit commander punished for faking crime statistics. While they're telling us that crime is down, what are they doing? They're making up reports.
They're freaking lying?
Eliminating and misclassifying a handful of incidents. Is that how these big...
Instead of actually trying to freaking put criminals away in jail, you'd rather just make up criminals.
Cities keep getting safer, it might be.
Turns because crime is still up. It's running rampant. And people are still fleeing the city because of it.
It is still up, and let me tell you something, and I think I talked about this. You know, Mayor Johnson and Illinois officials love to talk about how crime is down. Yes, crime is down a small amount of what it was last year, but not down so much that you could be somewhere bragging about how crime is not happening here in the city. I told you guys a couple of months ago.
Hey, listen. Our city might be crime-ridden, but it's not as crime-ridden as it was last year.
My husband was literally carjacked in front of our house, and I live 3 blocks from the mayor. So don't tell me about how crime is down and that the citizens of Chicago are happy with this administration and we're happy with what we're seeing, because we're not. You're the same mayor that we was unhappy with in 2023 when I first started on this platform. Nothing has changed about that.
Look at this guy helping himself right here, the restaurant register right here. But you know, it's hard for a mayor to make or break.
You know what's wild is that at least when I was manager of the store that I was at, there would never be more than $1,000 in there, ever. And honestly, even that was a bit much. Like in a register, 250 to 500 at most, and that's like because if I was lazy to like go and like deposit, or if the owner hadn't been there in a while, and hadn't gone to deposit.
Break a city's crime problem. Now, I'm not saying that
But
that's
when I'm talking about like once in a blue moon, like I'm not talking about like every single night. No. At most on the night to night, it would be like $200. Like we would not have that much freaking cash in a register. You don't need that much change on a day-to-day basis.
Have other progressive leaders who pass laws that let people like this register robber here keep doing their thing without any fear of retribution from a justice system. But here's the thing, if people are leaving the city because of crime, where is this crime happening? It's not happening in the rich neighborhoods. It's not happening to the rich, wealthy restaurants. It's happening to the places, and at the places where the middle class goes to spend money. And if the middle class doesn't feel safe in a McDonald's, it doesn't feel safe spending money there, and the places are overrun with lawlessness, people are gonna have to leave. Franchisees are gonna...
Yeah, but what you have to understand is that the vast majority of these politicians are like really well off and really wealthy, so a lot of that stuff doesn't really affect them, does it? You know, especially not if they're in like gated communities. Not saying this particular mayor is, but you know, for the most part, that kind of stuff never affects them, does it? That's
going to close their restaurants because their customer base just isn't there. What do you think about that? Is that why McDonald's are leaving Chicago? Is that why they're probably going to leave certain parts of New York pretty soon if they don't get a handle on their underage violence problem? Let me know. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.
It's gonna get worse before it gets better, and I think the solution from like if I was McDonald's, forget the politics. The solution for McDonald's is going to be to start changing everything. Start changing all the restaurants into like get it and get out kind of restaurants. Realistically, and hey, what else can you do? Like as a business, you gotta do what you gotta do. Like if they don't deserve nice things. You don't get a nice restaurant. You come, you get your freaking junk food, you get out. That's that simple. Stop trying to pretend like you're a fancy restaurant, McDonald's. Just not doing it. The problem there becomes that, let's say McDonald's does do this, but where are they gonna go next, right? Scary, but at least here in California, 7-Eleven supposedly is trying to like make a push to try to make it more like the ones in Japan, where it's sort of an all, you know, a get everything you need there type of deal, which sounds awesome. I want to see something like that. I want more of that here in California. I want to start seeing some more vending machine culture. I want to start seeing all kinds of stuff like that. However, any places that tend to be convenient are basically just inviting more crime if there's nobody stopping that crime from happening. And I don't see anybody, or I should say, similar to how Twitch is with advertisers, I can see a lot of businesses leaving New York just because they should not have, like, all businesses have an understanding that a lot of stuff is going to be getting stolen pretty consistently, so they can just mark off some inventory. But if it's getting to the point where it's so damn noticeable that that it's affecting their company, they have to shut down the restaurant, they don't want to deal with that headache. They don't want to deal with that. They don't have to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? So they're not going to. They're gonna leave. They're gonna shut down those restaurants. And in a lot of cases, especially McDonald's, since it's a franchise, it's not gonna be up to corporate, is it? It's gonna be on the individual franchisee that's potentially losing that location. And that's freaking sad. That's freaking sad to hear, especially if they're if it's like a hard-working franchisee that genuinely opened up those restaurants because they want, you know, as a business or whatever the frick. That's actually kind of sad to see as well. Some of those locations are just owned by the one franchisee. They don't have multi-locations. Well, maybe they do. I don't freaking know the whole video. Maybe there's like a limit for how many franchise locations you can buy. But, you know, kind of why it's kind of weird. Kind of weird to think about it. But I can't see any mom and pop shops, especially wanting to go and set up shop in New York. And that's not good. That's definitely very bad, especially for like the freaking like stocks. Like the overall value in Especially since New York is so freaking, like, up there. It's like one of the major freaking, I forgot the term for it was, but they have, like, one of the most major, what is it, Green Realty or something like that? One of the major, like, there's, like, one massive company that owns all the buildings there. So there's, like, for stuff like that, of course, these massive, like, stock and shareholders are gonna, like, get really pissed off. Because, of course, if businesses are not moving into those buildings, into those blocks, it's a whole lot less value overall, and, like, when it comes to, like, property values. If you know about that kind of stuff, you understand what I'm trying to say here. I'm not intelligent enough to freaking articulate it, okay? I'm sorry. But yeah, no, it's a big time bad for any city when you start to have companies shutting down their freaking doors because of crime. Way bad. Like that, you started to, like, run into, like, what is it, freaking, is it Detroit that I'm thinking of? That, like, that freaking city that's damn near just abandoned houses now? Nah, son, like, you gotta get this fixed before it gets worse. Amazing video by Cash Shorty, absolutely phenomenal. Please be sure to go drop him a like, go drop him a sub, all that good stuff. Models will be dropping a quick link on Discord. It's also in the description down in the VODs if you want to check that out. Ayoo, Monodachis! Thank you so much for watching this video. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You can also find links to the videos that we reacted to today down in the description below, along with my Oshi marks. I'll see you in the next video, Monos. Goodbye, and thank you so much for swinging by. Salut!